This is day 8 of 19 days of Python challenge with Newton School. And today we are building smarter logic, all taught through simple, real world examples by a senior software engineer at Microsoft. Let's get into it.
There is another one which is Elif, right? So imagine you are on a diet and you have multiple options depending upon the meal preparation. For example, uh, every time there will not be a scenario that you will only have two options, that if else. There can be a conditions based on multiple scenarios. For example, let's say you want to print the day, if it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, based on the day number. So if it will be 1, it will be Monday. If it will be 2, it will be Tuesday. If it will be 3, it will be Wednesday. So this is how these are like multiple conditions, right? So similarly, if you have, let's say, 10 minutes, you will go for oatmeal. If you have an hour, you will go for salad because you can prepare it. If you only have couple of minutes, you can go for a banana. So there are like multiple conditions. If else works on a single condition. Okay, if this is true, this will happen, otherwise this will happen. So Elif is able to handle multiple conditions, right? So this is again, there is a statement from an anonymous Python developer that I once had a Elif statement that tried to make decisions based on multiple conditions. It felt like I was running on a talent show where the program was judging multiple contestants. If they didn't make the cut, they would get eliminated, right? So let's see it with an example. So let's say age is 70 and we are having now multiple conditions. If age is less than 18, we are printing you are a minor. If age is less than 60, we are printing you are an adult. Else we are printing you are a senior citizen, right? So Elif is nothing but it acts like else if. It's a second condition. So any one of them will execute. Any one of them will execute. So if age will be less than 18, it will print you are minor. That's it. It will not go into the Elif. It will not go into the else. And there can be multiple Elif statements. There can be multiple Elif statements. So if it will enter into, if let's say age will be 40, it will not go to age less than 18. Age less than 60, it will enter. It will print you are an adult. That's it. It will not go into else. Similarly, if the age will be more than 60, then it will go to else, right? It will be greater than equal to 60 because it will not go either in if and neither it will go in elif, right? So instead of using multiple if statements, we use elif to check additional conditions, right? So now one thing might be coming in your mind, can we use multiple if conditions, right? So let's see it with some example. So what if you use multiple if conditions in such scenarios? So let's say we want to put if this condition is true, you want to execute a block. If this condition is true, you want to execute this block. If this condition is true, you want to execute this block. Let's say this is your code. In contrast, you have a code where you are saying if this will be true, execute this. Elif this will be true, execute this. Elif this will be true, execute this. Else execute this. Let's say you have something like this, right? Now let's see the difference. Here what will happen is you will be able to execute only one out of them. Let's say if this will be true, this code will execute and then rest nothing will be checked because this is part of the complete condition. But here what will happen is every if will check because every if is a separate set of code. So this will also be checked, this will also be checked, this will also be checked, right? So for example, let's say you have a code where you have the code which are not dependent on each other. They are like separate if conditions, separate conditions. So you have to use this scenario. But if something is the place where you have scenario which are dependent, for example, I gave the scenario of printing the days. There you have to use this only. Because if you will use like if day number is 1, execute this. If day number is 2, execute this. So the code will work fine, but you are checking redundant if blocks. If you have the day number 4, you are printing Thursday, you should exit, right? So this is something which should work, where the conditions are dependent on each other. They are talking about the same scenario, right? So this is the difference between using multiple if conditions separately and using the elif, right?
You're learning to think like a real developer now. We are just about halfway through this 19-day journey, and there's still so much to explore. Drop your questions in the comments, and if you haven't subscribed yet, now's the time. Let's keep going strong.